to Bad Larry.
What's up, everyone? Happy New Year officially. I'm your host, Bad Larry, and today we are checking out X-Men number 7, written by Jed McKay and drawn by Nito Diaz. First things first, let's rate that cover. This cover is drawn by Ryan Stegman, and to be honest, I prefer his art on this title to that of Nito Diaz. I don't know why exactly the reins of the art title have been passed from Stegman to Diaz, but I hope it goes back to Stegman. Anywho, I rated this cover a 94%. Admittedly, I am quite biased to Cyclops covers. He's my favorite all-time character, and I love seeing him beat up on Sentinels. I love the optic blast, wide and powerful, the angry expression, the tattered costume, and the coloring of the Sentinel's hands, showing how the ruby blast is illuminating part of the hand but not all. There is also a sense of danger. The Sentinel's hand blaster looks like it's powering up. So in this simple scene, Stegman created a lot of drama and action. Not having more of the team on the cover and having the background clearly computer generated takes this cover from 100% to 94%. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, onto the story. This book contains two main storylines, one from the past and one in the present. In the physical comic, they bounce back and forth, which is really annoying. So for you guys, I've organized the pages into the past story and then the present story. The first part of this book takes place X months ago, which could mean 10 months ago, as X is Latin for 10, or it could mean any number of months ago. Either way, this takes place in the past, before the start of this current X-Men iteration, and we'll address how the giant frozen Sentinel in town came to be. Cyclops is all alone in his Alaskan cabin, pondering the age-old question of, how the flip did I get here in my life, and what the heck do I do now? Sipping branded beer, as he watches the sun go down, as Magneto descends from the sky, about to deliver a "let's get back in the game" pep talk. Two quick things. Number one, how did Magneto find Cyclops in the first place? That is never explained. Number two, the costume Cyclops is wearing is the 2001 Grant Morrison new X-Men costume. I believe this is both an homage to the past as well as correlate to the idea that there will be a new X-Men team about to form from this interaction to the actual comic New X-Men. It's a bar. Well, through art. Plus, what else would Cyclops be wearing? It's cold as balls in Alaska, so he needs a good coat and gloves. Plus, he enjoys mostly being an X-Men, and because he is currently teamless, he doesn't want to go wear his most recent costume. It represents too much of a recent fail, so voila! This new X-Men costume from 2001 comes in handy for both the reader and for the character. My favorite interaction in this book comes here in the first frame. Magneto authentically respects Cyclops, and here his disappointment is palpable. Seeing Cyclops all alone, disheveled, drinking beer? He says, "This is Logan behavior, Scott." And Cyclops' humor is typically overlooked. It is tough being the leader. You ruffle some feathers in that position. So Cyclops' retort, "Well, everyone likes him," is not only funny but shows where Cyclops' mind is. Team after team, day after day, making the hard choices. And what has that gotten him? Loneliness. Totally alone. Even his wife, Jean Grey, has basically abandoned him to go do space stuff. Cyclops is a bit jealous that Wolverine is typically liked more than him, even though Wolverine is grumpy, impetuous, and prefers to be alone. Well, Magneto is old and wise and gives Cyclops an alternative perspective. Wolverine has the time to be grumpy and temperamental. He will outlive all of them, so he can wallow in his misery all he wants and go off and do Wolverine stuff and come back whenever he wants, because his healing factor will curse him with the extra long life. Cyclops, on the other hand, does not have the same amount of time, so sitting around yanking his crank is out of the question. There is still work to be done for mutant kind, and these mutants need Cyclops. So Magneto gives Cyclops a choice: wallow in his emotions or be the leader he was born to be. After a bit of a face-off, Cyclops gives in, tells Magneto he will once again do the job. hands him a beer, and then complains about the giant factory blocking his view for the past couple weeks. This factory, as we now know, will become the headquarters for our new X-Men team. Magneto, again with the wisdom that only comes with age, reminds Cyclops that even though the factory is ugly, it is shut down, never to produce Sentinels again, while he and Cyclops live on to fight another day. And the building should be like a victory trophy representing their triumph over a powerful enemy. Out of nowhere, a wild rogue Sentinel starts blasting the town, effing stuff up. This is the story of how Cyclops and Magneto defeat this last wild Sentinel, save the townspeople of Merle, Alaska, and create this X-Men team in the heart of Cyclops' hometown. You would think Magneto alone could destroy one Sentinel. Heck, even Cyclops alone has shown to defeat solo Sentinels. But this wild rogue Sentinel doesn't go down so easy. I love the energy in these panels. Cyclops puts on his game face, and I love the scene of Magneto flying while allowing Cyclops to surf the hood of the car. I have always wondered why Cyclops hasn't really ever implemented a jetpack, or like Wonder Man have little belt jetpacks allowing him to fly. And then I thought, well, Cyclops usually has a flyer or two in his team, or a telekinetic or a teleporter, so self propulsion is really unnecessary. He isn't even that concerned with falling either. We've seen him use his optic blast to slow his descent. Plus, surfing on the roof of a car over snow covered pines is badass. Magneto needs the plan. The Sentinel is clearly hunting down a mutant in the town, which we later to believe to be the poor little girl Piper Cobb, whom magic and temper brought to the factory in the present time. Cyclops knows Sentinels. If anyone is an expert, he is. This wild Sentinel is adaptive, meaning Cyclops estimates he will only have 3 shots on it before the Sentinel adapts to his optic blast and is rendered useless. But with the right opening, Cyclops tells Magneto, I can kill it. Well, whatever that opening looks like, they better act quickly, as this wild Sentinel is about to destroy Merle, Alaska, in its quest. I like the inclusion of the townspeople here. They're saying, what the heck? Why is that thing coming for us? These humans created the Sentinels to hunt mutants, but now need mutants to save them from the very thing they created. It's called irony, people. Cyclops and Magneto pull up tough, tell the people to get to safety, and the people say, who the heck are you guys? And in epic Cyclops form, he says, we're the X-Men. Classic to the score. The X-Men saving the very people who fear and hate them. Magneto is also a badass. He tells Cyclops, sorry, he needs his car surfboard, and twists the vehicle into a 2-ton solid steel javelin. Magneto's first strike hits the mark. He tells Cyclops to get ready and don't miss. Again, you may be thinking, why doesn't Magneto just rip this thing apart himself or launch it into space? Well, you'll find out in a second. Magneto flies up, talking trash to the Sentinel. He's getting pissed. Tired of these effing things already. You can see Magneto struggling though. The exertion is shown on his face. His words are trembling, not strong and clear. But Magneto powers through as much focus as he can muster and takes momentary control of the wild Sentinel, outstretching his arms. Here's the opening Cyclops needs to take out the Sentinel's AI core. And what an image. Cyclops in one blast, like he said, absolutely wrecking the Sentinel, killing it, stopping it in its tracks. Another day, another dollar for the X-Men. As the Iron Giant powers down, frozen in place like a statue, the attention comes back to Magneto. He is bugging, literally short-circuiting. Cyclops says, what the hell's the matter with you, man? And here we learn the answer to everyone's question of why Magneto struggled with that Sentinel. He can no longer control his powers. But why? What happened to Magneto that caused this? And here, Jed MacKay has brought us back to the present time. Cyclops is in his current uniform, and Magneto is floating behind in his wheelchair throne thing, no longer in battle attire. And here is the biggest wadita of the series. Magneto is suffering from resurrection linked degenerative sickness, or RLDS for short. Much like humans can suffer from Lou Gehrig's disease, or ALS, the symptoms are similar. Magneto's body is failing him. There is no known cure as we know of. So there is a consequence for these mutants who, back in the Krakoan era, who died and were resurrected. The more one has died and has come back, well, the higher the likelihood of developing RLDS, like Magneto has. Magneto is just the first to show these symptoms. But how many times was Cyclops resurrected? Or how many times was Kid Omega resurrected? That dude died a bunch. Cyclops' face shows it all. The clock is literally ticking. It is really not a matter of if a mutant who is resurrected will get RLDS, it's just a matter of when. The X-Men need to find a cure quick! Now, on to story number 2. Cyclops and Magneto are keen to find out if Piper Cobb is truly a mutant. All Beast needs is one of her hairs to put through his machines, and he will know shortly if Piper is indeed a mutant or a human. As everyone waits, Temper takes Piper to get some food, as Piper tells her that she is always hungry. This, my friends, is a clue. I get it. Kids seem like they're always hungry, but not really. They just want candy. Most kids have a tiny little appetite, but this kid, Piper, the way she emphasizes always, this seems to be a clue that there is something else going on with her. Jed MacKay reads my mind from last issue and addresses it here, which I think is brilliant. Psylocke chastises the way Temper and Magic went off on their own, bringing Piper to the base. Psylocke is cool with the kid. Don't get me wrong. She's like, she could stay here as long as she wants, obviously. But she tells Temper that it was wrong to not bring the plans to Cyclops and to the entire team first. The X-Men are a team, but Temper is out doing side quest missions on her own. Not cool. That cowboy behavior could get the team hurt or killed. Psylocke tells Temper to quit that cowboy crap and get on board being a team member. Clearly, Temper has a temper about being confronted like that. Heck, no one likes being put in their place, but is Psylocke wrong? At this stage of the X-Men, everyone needs to stay in their lane. Small mistakes can turn into big ones quickly. We learn a little bit more about the wild Sentinel. It was using AI and could rebuild itself from surrounding materials, which is cool. Piper calls it a zombie Sentinel. Temper connects with Piper as they were both stalked down by Sentinels. All of these clues lean heavily to the fact that Piper must be a mutant, right? Sentinels don't just hunt down humans, they hunt down mutants. They always hungry clue. Piper herself saying she feels like she's a mutant, whatever that is worth. Side note, I am not liking the image of Temper from the back, sitting on the beach. It looks like she's pooped her pants. Anyways, Beast is walking down, about to reveal the results from the test. Beast tells Piper she is, drumroll please, 100% human. Say what? No one can believe it. Beast is a scientist. Could he have made a mistake? Or would he have lied? I mean, future Beast has shown he has a nefarious side. Maybe this Beast is lying. But why? Well, everyone is confused. But if Piper's a human, she's gotta go home. But Temper says that when her mom, who's an avid mutant hater, brings Piper to protest in front of the factory again, Temper will smile at Piper knowing she still has a friend, which is nice, I guess, for Temper to say. But here we go with another wadita. Piper is talking to herself. Bah, 100% human. Yeah, right. And we see, clear as day, that lovely human hand transforms into a nasty claw hand and then back. So here are the options. Number one, Beast's test was faulty. He made some mistake in the process. 2. Piper is a new breed of human, like Homo superior superior, in which Beast's test may not be calibrated for and given a false negative result. Or 3. Beast has flat out lied and knows Piper is a mutant, but is keeping that knowledge to himself. But why? So for the final bonus page, we see Beast is doing his best Thing, Rorschach, Raphael, Inspector Gadget disguise to try and hide his bluey, furry body from the public. This isn't New York, buddy. Everybody can still see your big ass blue furry clawed feet, man. Anywho, Beast is on the way to have a date with the short, pudgy chief of police when he is snatched up from behind. No diddy. Leaving his cell phone behind is the only clue that he was there. Who snatched up the Beast? Don't know yet. Why? Don't know yet. Does it have something to do with Piper? Or is it just humans looking to lynch a mutant? Well, stay tuned and hopefully those questions will be answered in X-Men number 8 coming out real soon. I rated this issue an A+. It had cool action. We learned the origin of the giant Sentinel frozen in town. We are left with 2 cliffhangers and still more questions about Piper Cobb. But what do y'all think of this issue? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for subbing, liking the video, and until next time, peace.